Long ago, someone had mentioned something about it. I'm like, wow, that's a really great book. Turning Pro. You definitely want to read it because it's basically the idea of becoming an amateur or being an amateur and turning pro. And what that means is you finally uncovering whatever it is that's holding you back and becoming the person that you actually are. So it's not like, oh, if I do this or I discover that, or if I finally am able to acquire this, then I'll be who I am. No, you already are. It's just now it's working to uncover that. And that's something that I'm really going through at the moment, because even doing this live, I started my career or my entrepreneurship journey in late 2023, 2024, right? So it's been a year and a couple months, and being able to build a Facebook group, start to go on social media. I first started in e-commerce, which lasted just a little bit, and getting familiar with like manufacturing and building an audience and products and inventory and all of these things. And it's been such a huge learning curve. And anytime that I am wanting to create an idea or a video or do a live or guests or speak out to people, it really always is this moment where you always confront yourself with something. And I find that so interesting. It's because even doing this live, I find that there's always something I need to, like, there's this resistance that I need to push through. You know, I mean, once you are when you're learning something, everything is always so awkward. The best example I can give is like via learning an instrument. I mean, when you learn a new instrument, it's always so awkward. It sounds bad. You have a good taste in music, but then you're like, why don't I play like that? And I think a lot of that within me is not holding me back, but I'm just observing. And it's interesting to see that, because we have so many resources now, like Turning Pro by Stephen Pressfield, this book is super interesting. And it helps you to self-realize, like, wow, I am holding myself back from so many different opportunities, from so many different things that would help me to become who I want to be or who I am. And it's just, whether it's fear, and I think fear is like a huge one. Let's just stay there for a minute. Fear is a huge blocker from you or from me being able to attain what it is that I want to do. You know, like, have you ever felt like you wanted to do something so bad? And I mean, the idea that comes up to my head, and it's happened to me a few times, is like, you're at a party and either you have, well, in my case, let's say I had some colleagues or some girl that I was studying with, and this is like years ago, and you're finally at a party and you want to just talk to her and just take her to the side and be like, wow, I just want to tell you I really like you. And you're on the verge. Have you ever had that feeling? You just wanted to express what it is that was on your mind and your heart. You just wanted to tell that person, like, I really like you. I want to be with you. And you have an opportunity and you don't do it. That feeling of knowing that what it is that you want to do, but you don't do it because you're afraid, that has happened to me so many different times that now I don't consciously think of that moment. For example, I've had tons of stories that I can probably tell you of, like, those moments with missed opportunities. And now I jump on this live and I'm thinking, how many times have I put off that thing that I wanted to do and I didn't do it because I was afraid? How many times did I not tell that person? How many times did I not go ahead and push my limits, knowing that it is that I wanted to do? I wanted to travel. I wanted to start that business. I wanted to, I haven't, not yet. I have a wealth of stories, but I don't think it's ready to like put into a book yet. That would be really cool. But there's tons of things I think we all go through. And it's that idea of turning pro. It's that idea of saying, I am so worthy of being able to express what is on my mind, in my heart, in my soul. And I know that there's a lot of things that are holding me back, and it's really going through that moment and saying, you know what, I'm not going to let it hold me back anymore. And I think that is such an interesting, and I wanted to jump on, and I don't know who else feels like that. Who else feels that there are moments where you want to do something and you're just afraid to do it, and you just don't do it. And I think it's happened to me so many times, and coming back and seeing this book back on my radar, I'm like, wow, I can reread it, and there's so many things that I can uncover for it. And I just wanted to share a little bit about that, because it's something that is always there. It's always that you constantly want to push through, and it takes courage, and it takes strength, and it takes a lot of ambition to push through those fears, because those moments where you say, I'm not gonna do it, that's where a lot of people get blocked. And if you do the thing that you know in your heart that you want to do, there's a lot of people that don't actually do it. And it's really, I try to keep that in mind as well, because I don't think that a lot of people do want to, they don't have that ambition to go super high, and it's fine. Everyone has their own journey to go through. And I actually read a few other books, and we're all by you being you, because if we're all connected, okay, I don't want to get too deep here, but we're all connected. And if we're all connected, that means that there's this underlying thing, this underlying energy, this underlying consciousness that links all of us. And by you being you, or by me being me, and pushing through and really attaining our goals, and really living up to our ambitions, and doing everything that it's in your heart and in your soul and in your spirit. And I think by doing that, you're pushing humanity to the next level. That thing that connects us, you're expanding it. You're expanding that level of consciousness that's between everyone. And I think that there are 8 billion people here on the planet, and there's 8 billion ways to live life, and by each one living his and her own life is us collectively expanding and moving our own consciousness to another level. I know that's a lot, that's a little bit of I've been hearing this term woo-woo. That's not where I wanted to go, but it's just, I think that me personally, there's so many moments that I don't want to do that live. I don't want to invite that guest. I don't want to, but I do. It's just there's that fear, that resistance that holds you and keeps you in that space. And at the end of doing what it is that you feel that you should do, whether it's taking care of your health or taking care of your loved ones, or it's pushing yourself and striving to be who it is that that you want to be. I think getting through that, there's so much good to be had going through that, that moment of resistance, that experiment. Actually, I mean, every time that I come up with an idea, I'm like, how can I help people and really know what's in my heart, share that with other people? And it's scary, and it tests a lot of different emotions, and it's a way to get to know yourself. And I think that in and of itself is its own reward. And I think going pro is, I always like this idea of, you can feel fear, but you use that to your advantage. There's moments where I'm afraid of something, but I don't use that as an excuse. And that's my own thing that I'm working on, not to use as an excuse, but use that energy, that nervousness, that adrenaline, and get on line, for example, make a live video and say, I'm going to use that energy, and that energy is going to come through, and I hope it comes through my words and people will connect with it, instead of holding on to that fear and letting it sit in my gut and feeling bad that I didn't do the thing that I felt I knew it was right. And I just wanted to hop on and not just share my what's going on my head, my heart. And there is something very powerful about, being an amateur, and amateur is just a term. It's like, where do you feel you're at? Are you really pushing yourself to your limit? And that's what I'm continuously trying to strive for. Am I pushing myself and knowing the play? What am I trying to say is push yourself to do your best. Those are the days that I really feel on fire. It's just, I know I did my best. I know that I spoke to that girl and I told her that I liked her. I know that I did that live. I know I'm creating that program. I know I studied for that test. I know I nailed that interview. There's so many moments that in my life I can go on, and it's just those moments where you're saying, wow, I feel so good right there, because I know that I didn't let fear hold me back, and you're a pro for that. You're a pro for knowing who it is that you are meant to be, and keep pushing forward and show your colors. Like, for me to hop on and share these ideas with other people and then have that connectiveness, it's really like mind-blowing to me. And to be as honest as I can to myself and push through that and saying to myself that I am a pro, there's something so unique about that. It's so amazing that I am really living my purpose, like to be happy, to be who it is that I'm meant to be, or rediscover or uncover who it is that I already am. It's just undoing all of the things that I learned, from school, from, whatever, like authorities. Like, no, I am who I am, and I'm just uncovering. And the more I can be in that space, the more life is like fulfilling. So, are you an amateur wanting to become a pro? I think when you are able to feel so comfortable in that uncomfortableness and you start to discover yourself, I don't know, I think that was worth stopping here and making a little impromptu live. That was on my mind, and I hope that, let me know what you think. Please tell me, please add some, because I'm continuously learning. There's no moment that I ever want to say that I'm like teaching or anything. I'm just sharing experiences, and I wish to learn. I wish to be surrounded by people who can teach me and just collectively help one another. So those were my 2 cents. I would love to hear your 2 cents. Let me know what you think. You have any recommendations, any suggestions, any advice? I love getting advice from all walks of life. I remember I was skateboarding this one day. This is a few years ago, and it was a Sunday afternoon. It was sunny, it was beautiful, and I just walked out of my there was this open space near my house, and there was these kids who were skateboarding. I think they were like 10 years old, 12 years old. And so there was a skateboard, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna hop on. It was one that I found in my house. So I started skateboarding, and the kid comes up to me, and he's like, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And I'm like, who the hell is this kid telling me, And he's like, if you put your feet like this, and you put it like that, and you push. And that was a big moment for me, because I said, a teacher can be anyone. A teacher can be, like an animal just doing its thing. A teacher can be a kid. Everyone has something to share. Everyone has something a knowledge to give. We all have different walks of life. And I said, teachers are everywhere. And if you're open to learning, and if you're open to the experience, then I think your life would be all the better for it, all the much more grateful. So yes, please give me some advice if you have any, or of course you do. If you are not afraid, are you a pro to share what's on your heart, in your mind, in your soul, all of that stuff. So I just wanted to do an impromptu. Catch you later.